and gentlemen, this is me, Nilanjana, and it is my absolute honor to welcome you to the ABP Live Impact Makers Conclave East Edition 2025, a night where we celebrate the champions of progress, the dreamers and the doers who are shaping the future of Bengal. Tonight is not just an event, it's a celebration of vision, courage and transformation. From trailblazers who dare to dream differently, to change makers who are rewriting the story of Bengal's growth, we are here to honor them all. The stage is set, the excitement is high, and I promise you an evening woven with rhythm, energy, and inspiration, where every moment will leave you enriched, uplifted, with a proud legacy of over 100 years, stands as one of India's largest and most influential media conglomerates. A big round of applause for that, please. Reaching hundreds of millions through its powerful television, digital and event platforms, ABP continues to shape narratives with trust, credibility, and an unwavering commitment to impactful journalism. So let's begin. I have always adored this person, and I really wanted to meet him in person. But there are so many of them, like I have to really count. Mr. Devdutt Pattanaik. So thank you, because again I have started reading with your book after so many years. Please welcome Devdutt Pattanaik, who's one of India's most celebrated authors, mythologists, illustrators and speakers, who has masterfully made ancient Indian wisdom resonate in modern life. His unique storytelling connects Indian mythology with modern life and leadership. Let's invite him on stage, Mr. Devdutt Pattanaik, with a big round of applause. Sir, thank you so much, and I am so much overwhelmed. I'm running short of words, and the mic is all yours, sir, for the keynote address. Thank you. Thank you.
Namaste, my name is Devdutt Pattanaik, and I write on mythology. And everyone asks me, nowadays when everybody talks about Ramayana, Mahabharata, that sir, ye sach hai ya jhoot hai? Is this true or false? And I've been asked this question for the last 30 years, and I think it'll keep asking. People will keep asking this question for the next 1,000 years. Because we do not know how to classify faith. Fact is everybody's truth, and it's based on measurement. Fiction is nobody's truth, and it's based on your imagination. But faith, where do you locate faith? Faith is somebody's truth. It is not everybody's truth. It is not nobody's truth. It is somebody's truth. I have a truth, you have a truth, everybody has a truth. America has a truth, China has a truth, Delhi has a truth, Bengal has a truth. All of us have a truth which we express through stories, symbols, and rituals. And that's the world of mythology. It's the world of cultural truths. Let me give you an example. We are right now in Paryushan, which is the holy week for the Jains, and the Jains practice something called ahimsa. Now, when people talk about ahimsa, we look at it as not hurting people, eating vegetarian food. But I'll explain how it is explained in mythology. In mythology, they will say all living creatures are hungry. All living creatures want to eat food. And the act of consuming food produces violence. तो भोग चाहिए तो बलि देना पड़ेगा. भूख लगती है, भूख के लिए भोग चाहिए, भोग के लिए बलि देना पड़ता है. When you kill something, whether you kill a plant or an animal to produce food, a karmic cycle is created. You are in debt, and you have to repay the debt of consumption. And as long as you have the debt of consumption on you, you will keep getting reborn. That's the Indian story. So you have a character in the Mahabharata called Bakasur. Now Bakasur is called a demon, but he's always hungry. उसको हमेशा भूख लगती है. He wants to eat, and he wants to eat so much that he even eats those who serve him food. So वो खाता है और परोसने वालों को भी खा देता है. Now people ask me, how does it applied in real life? So the word for hunger in the corporate world is ambition. We are all ambitious. We don't use the word hungry anymore. I want more and more and more. I'm aspirational, I'm ambitious. We never say people are greedy. We only say people are ambitious. So we want more and more and more, and we want to create a consumption economy. And consumption economy means we create more and more violence, but we never talk about repaying the debt. We never talk about repaying the debt of consumption. Everybody is consuming. When I ask children, who is Bakasur, who is always eating, they'll say, my parents are always eating me. My parent is a Bakasur. They want more and more and more from me. When I go to offices and I ask people, who is Bakasur? They will say, it is the boss. They want more and more and more. They're always hungry. Aur chahiye, aur chahiye, aur chahiye. And then you realize Bakasur is a character from 2000-year-old mythology, but it explains our desire to consume. And I think the Jains, when they were told that you have to start fasting, it is to sit back and ask the question, why do we consume? What is the cost of consumption? How do you repay the debt of consumption? And can we create a society which is based on inspiring to be Bakasurs? Is our whole life about being hungry and craving more and more and more? Or is it also about feeding people? Not just about eating, but also about feeding. तो खाना खाना है या खाना देना है? And that is why when you go to temples in India, you give naivedya before you ask for prasad. You have to give in order to get. Only when you give do you get something. And so the question is, in Paryushan to ask, is ahimsa, which is not eating, has to be connected with aparigraha, which is not holding on, but investing in the market and creating an impact. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Kindly have a seat. And lots and lots to hear from you, more stories. But for that, this man, again, needs no introduction. How do I introduce someone who I deal with 24/7 for the odd so many years of my life? And we all love his voice. Jimmy, sir, with your permission, whenever I hear your voice, my dil goes, Okay, please put your hands together for the voice that has ruled the airwaves for over 3 decades. The one and only Jimmy Tangri, known as the king of radio in Kolkata. Jimmy Tangri is more than an RJ. He's a legend of the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome him on stage. And the session begins with Jimmy Sir, Mythology and Modern Leadership, Ancient Wisdom for a Better Tomorrow.
Thank you, Nilanjana. And a warm welcome to the impactful personality who's sitting with us. Needs no introduction. And I was truly impressed by your keynote. I just want to kind of weave a little bit into it. You know, there was that hunger, greed, ambition. Today the world, look at Trump, look at China, look at everybody, very hungry, looks very hungry. A lot of ambitions. The world is in a turmoil. Is this hunger ambition? And if this is ambition, where does it end? In terms of mythology, where would you like to start from when we look at the turmoil going on across the world? Wars, ambition, greed. Everybody wants more and more. Hungry, as we say. What do you feel about that?
So what has happened around the world is there's a too much focus on the self. And everybody in school learns about Maslow's hierarchy, and you're told that the highest state is self-actualization. You go to some gurus, they will tell you about self-realization. They'll tell you the higher self, the lower self. Everybody uses the word self. We never talk about others. Now in nature, no organism exists in isolation. every organism eats another organism and is eaten by other organisms. So a tree eats things around it and is eaten by insects, plants, birds, fruits, animals. An animal will eat a plant, a carnivorous animal will eat a herbivorous animal, but there will be someone who will eat him. So there's constant consumption happening. I consume and I get consumed. I eat and I get eaten. But what has happened with modern, what we call the enlightened world, is we have focused on the eating part, not on the feeding part. And the reason I brought it up is because, this is the time, 1 week, where every Jain is told to do fasting, to remind us that life is not just about consumption, it is also about feeding the other. And this feeding process is something cultures have forgotten. So countries around the world are thinking, I have to feed my people, my country. My country is very important. I'm not thinking about how do I enable the neighbor. How do I enable people around me? Because I don't want to create an ecosystem. We are being encouraged to be parasites rather than symbiotic creatures who help each other. And we're proud of it. I'm proud to be a parasite. I'm proud to consume more because we call it high return on investment. I'll give you less and I'll take more. And that's the model that we are being told without thinking about it. Nobody is thinking in depth about what we're doing, and now we're paying the price of that thought process.
So when we look at mythology, when you go back thousands of years, every action had an equal and opposite reaction, literally, that Newton's law, as they say. So in these circumstances and situation which is going on around the world, you've written a lot of books, you've actually delved on a lot of stuff which has happened, and there has been kind of mythological solutions which have also taken effect. So currently the nature of the world and where it's going, if you have to rewind back hundreds of years, where do you see what happening next if you have to look back thousands of years?
If you go millions of years before human beings, there were plants and animals. And all plants and animals over generations behave exactly the same way. So let's say 1,000 years ago, a monkey behaved exactly the way a monkey behaves today. 1,000 years ago, giraffe behaved exactly the way a giraffe will behave today. But humans 1,000 years ago behaved very differently from humans behave today. And there are only two things that changes human beings. One is technology, and the other is the stories we tell. So there's technology. So we had Stone Age, then we had Bronze Age, Iron Age, agriculture, now we have industrialization. So the technology keeps changing, and that's what everybody talks about. So science is about technology, and everybody gets excited by technology. But along with technology, we are telling stories to people. So let me give you an example of the story that America tells. I recently read a book which said that American presidents typically are lawyers. So if you study the history of all the American presidents, they come from a lawyer background. Now, America is strongly a Christian country. And when you read the Bible, you will have a chapter, you have the concept of the judgment day. So God is a judge. So to survive in front of God, you have to be a lawyer. And therefore, you have an entire culture. So it's not accidental that America is built by lawyers and everything is about law. They don't talk about justice. They talk about law and lawyers, and they talk about judgment day. It comes from a Christian ecosystem. But China does not follow this story. They don't have the concept of judgment day. They don't have the concept of lawyers. Chinese mythology tells that the world's first emperors were engineers. And even today, the Communist Party is led by engineers. And all engineers do is they think of solution in a very mechanistic way. They don't think about human beings. They think about technology. And they build dams and roads and infrastructure, which is what China keeps doing. Because even the first emperor of China built a dam and he built canals. He's the first water engineer. Wu, his name is Yu. It's a mythological character. So, story has not changed. We are still following the same stories. You have a group of people who want to be right all the time, and that's America is trying to be right. While Chinese are saying, we don't care whether it's right or wrong, we want solutions. The Western world is like the evangelicals. They want to sell an idea. Good word, good life, we'll always sell you an idea. And the Chinese say, we'll build a great wall, we'll block you, now we have a firewall, we'll always block you. We'll always do what we want to do. So the world has not really changed. 1,000 years ago, there was a great wall. Today, you have a firewall. 1,000 years ago, the West was evangelizing. They were talking about Jesus is going to save the world. Now they are saying AI is going to save the world. So there's always a savior who is going to save the world until we realize the savior is not good enough. And a new savior comes along. And the Chinese just build a wall and say, leave us alone. We want our emperor. So it's the Communist Party behaves exactly like the dragon emperors of the Forbidden City. They're not behaving any differently. So from a mythological point of view, the world has not changed. We are still living the same life again and again. And we thought that technology is going to make us wiser. But no technology takes away jealousy.
Yes.
No technology takes away jealousy, right? AI won't take away jealousy. Elon Musk can take you to Mars, but he will never take away your jealousy. And as long as there is jealousy, you will have people playing this game of, we will call it ambition, but actually I'm jealous of you. I want more than you. And it's jealousy which nobody talks about. This deep-seated jealousy which exists in, if the rich man is jealous, then he will never have time to take care of you. He's busy trying to satisfy his own hunger. When you're hungry, you will only feed yourself, right? You will not have time to serve food to others. And we are creating a society where everybody is told, stay hungry, stay foolish, stay hungry, stay foolish. Basically, don't look at other people who are hungry. Only focus on your hunger. And that's what the richest and most powerful people around the world are doing right now. And that is not healthy. We are like dogs fighting over the bone. And this line, dogs fighting over the bone, comes from Mahabharata.
Okay.
So it's an old line. At the end of the day, despite all our education, Yudhishthira says, we are dogs fighting over a piece of meat. And that's, I think, a very important sentence because that's how our education system has become. We encourage people to think about the self and not the other.
So we are actually going back millions of years or thousands of years, and the same thought is rotating in a very, very different way, but the thought process is the same.
We are just doing the same thing. We think we are different because technology is different. But nobody is paying attention to the stories we are telling. American story, Chinese story, everywhere the stories are very different. And the story as long as the story remains the same, you will continue to behave exactly the same way. Unless you start listening to other people's story and saying that there are alternate stories in the world.
So when you're saying alternate stories in the world, now we've been talking about hunger, ambition, I, not the we. Give, don't give, but take. So what are the alternative stories, if there are any, where because of the greed, because of the hunger, mythology shown thousands of years ago, a lot of things have changed. A lot of people have suffered. People have to face the consequences. So in the current item, in the current context of the world, are we coming there? Because they say now the third coming, someone will come when the world goes down the drain. So what is your thought on that?
So this is called a savior myth, and savior myth is a very West Asian concept. It's a West Asian idea that the world will go, and that idea comes to India, and you have this idea of the Kali Yuga, and somebody's going to save. And when you read historical texts, 2000 years ago is the first time they used the word Kali Yuga. They said 2000 years ago, the Yavanas are there and there's going to be Kali Yuga. Then the Hunas came, they said it's a Kali Yuga. Then the Turks came, they said it's Kali Yuga. The Mughals came, they said it's Kali Yuga. The British came, they said Kali Yuga. Now depending on which party you follow, there's always a Kali Yuga happening, and the opposition thinks they are Kalki. So that's a story that is never going to end, because you always believe that unless you are in control and you are in charge and you are the boss, it's Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga is when you are not the boss. Unless, of course, you ask the boss. The boss will say, well, Kali Yuga is... So the point is, this idea that, somebody's going to save the world, it's because we are not listening to other people's narratives. I'll give you an example. Ganesh Chaturthi is coming right now, right? And people will say, Ganesh ji ki darshan karo. And everybody in the world tells me, oh, elephant-headed. How can we worship an elephant-headed God? So I'm like, okay, think of it as a piece of art. And now look at the belly of the elephant. And it's a big fat belly. And around it, there's a snake. And there's a serpent, nag hai. And in the feet of the snake, there is a rat. And on the hand, in his hand, he's holding a modak, a sweet fruit. So I said, logically, the rat should be running and eating the modak. And the snake should be eating the rat. Right? That's supposed to happen. So that's natural. Natural food cycle. But that's not happening. Because they are content.
Okay.
The presence of the divine makes you content, and you realize, I have enough. I have enough. And that's what Ganesha is representing. Contentment, not ambition. And therefore the content rat does not run after the sweet. And the content snake does not run. And that is a representation of contentment. That I am not, like now, because I am content, I can now see other people's hunger. Oh, I am eaten enough. मैंने पेट भर के खाया है, लेकिन सामने वाला नहीं खाया है. Unless you are content, you will never think about other people. And that's what the Ganesha image is trying to communicate. And that image has been around for 1500 years.
But people in literally, I mean, still not content, though they go Ganesh Chaturthi.
Because they are told darshan karo. And when they go to the temple, what do? The first thing they do, they shut their eyes. The first thing you do in that, you'll see, go to Ganesh Pandal and you'll see everybody has shut their eyes. They're looking at themselves because dhyan karo apni upar. It again goes back to self-actualization, Atma Gyan. I'm going inwards rather than seeing that, you know, this, they're talking about hunger, they're talking about contentment, they're talking about restlessness, frustration. And they're saying, if there is no santosh, if there is no contentment, there is no hope for growth. You will not even make money because you're so busy consuming, you will never invest.
And this was in mythology with the image, and that thousands and thousands of years ago, trying to send out a message.
Because money, making money, capitalism, communism, all these ideas are not new. They, you know, we think they're new ideas. They're not new ideas. They've been around for thousands of years. Wealth generation, wealth distribution, how much should I keep, how much should I give? You know, why do the gods have multiple hands? You know, the multiple, traditionally, until about 2000 years ago, all the images of the gods had only two hands. And then suddenly, about 1500 years ago, you start having all these gods with multiple hands. The reason is, they started using the word grahasti, the house, the hand of the householder, hasta, like hati, hasti. It means that you have two hands to feed yourself, the other hands are to feed others.
Wow.
So the gods have many hands, for themselves. You have to take care of yourself. That is there. And that's how mythology talks to us, using symbols, using art, using poetry. This is not science, it's not literal, it's metaphor, it's symbol, it's choreography, the rituals. But we don't see, we don't listen to them. We think that, you know, Elon Musk will solve the world's problem. He won't. We saw the rise and fall of a relationship right in front of our eyes.
Absolutely.
Because the world, Buddha has been saying nothing lasts forever. Calm down. You can be the snake chasing the rat and the rat will keep chasing the modak. This will never end. As animals stop eating when they are full. That's a natural, they are designed that way. But human beings can eat even when they are full, which is what is the Bakasur trap. We get trapped in becoming Bakasur. We keep eating. In fact, in South India, there is if you go to the temple, there is an image of a head. I don't know if in Bengal it's called a Bajra Mukha, or a Kirti Mukha. They say that he was so hungry, he ate the whole world, and then he got to God and said, give me more food. And he said, okay, you eat your own body. And he starts eating his own hands, legs, feet, and he's only got a head left, and he's still hungry. And God takes his head and puts it on top of the temple and says, look at that. Now everybody will come and they will look at you, but nobody looks at them. They're coming down and saying, God, give me some more food, give me some more food.
So I'm just curious, according to mythology, when will the hunger stop? When will the eating stop? When will the giving start? I'm just curious.
See, when there is empathy, when I look at the leaders of the world and the statesmen of the world today, look at the way they behave on stage. They are onto one-upmanship. They are debating. I'm better than you. I'm smarter than you. I'm the lawyer. I can win the argument. They're winning arguments. They are not. One is enabling. One is telling I have the solution. The other is saying no, but I'm right.
But the arguments are being won with force. If you look at the world today, and if you look at America, it's forcefully winning.
So arguments are always won by force. The boss is always right. And nowhere in this world has argument been won by logic. It doesn't work like that. Because to be triumphant is a good feeling. I want to be triumphant. And therefore they say the rich and the powerful are always going to be right because they fund everything. They fund the best lawyers in the world. They fund the judges. They fund everybody. And the point is, that is why the solution is not winning a debate. The solution is listening to other people. We have stopped the absence of empathy in the business world, in the political world, where you exist as part of an ecosystem. That's a statesmanship. Statesmanship. It's not about, when you read the Mahabharata, the point is when you're being told that people tell me the Kauravas were right, the Pandavas were right. It's not about right and wrong. It is about if 100 brothers cannot feed 105 brothers, you cannot have a kingship. Because where will the hungry go? They will attack you. The hoarders will be attacked by the raiders. This is never going to go away. So the battle will continue, because, and the word for dharma is about repaying debts. It's called rin se mukt hona.
Yes.
As long as you're in debt, you will not get moksha.
And the debt necessarily does not mean you've taken money. It could mean that consumption, yes.
The fact that I am alive means I owe things to nature. The fact that parents took care of me, society took care of me, education, I have received so much. I am a consumer by existence. So that is why in the Vedic period they would say you have to repay 5 debts. To the teachers, to the gods, to nature, to culture, to ancestors. You have to keep the idea of repaying debts is not being discussed. That we, as individuals, because the moment you tell that to a politician, he'll say pay more taxes.
Absolutely.
Because
and the moment you tell that to a businessman, what happens? Or an entrepreneur?
The entrepreneur will say, yes, 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 I have to repay my debts. So I go to the bank and say, now you owe me money. You don't have to give. So you can trick the system. Everybody can trick the system. This is not based on policy. This is based on individual thought. Policies can't make you, the point is, that is why the Jains, I always tell people when in Jainism that people talk about ahimsa, they don't talk about aparigraha. You cannot talk about ahimsa without aparigraha. That is why the Tirthankars do not wear a single shred of cloth, saying that they are rich, they come from royal families, they have all the money in the world, but they're saying, I don't want anything. What do you do with it? Not charity. I reinvest it in the market. And I reinvest it in the market, so the Lakshmi comes to me back, and I don't want her back, so I reinvest her back in the market. And then she comes back to me, and I send it back to the market. So I create an ecosystem of prosperity while I am content. I don't want it. So the content person creates the ecosystem of prosperity. In Sanskrit, this is called Mangala. This is the word for this in Sanskrit is Mangala. And it's not a Vedic word. Mangala is a word which was created by the women of India. It is a household ritual. So Mangalyam it is called. To create an ecosystem where everybody is well fed. Therefore you have Sita ki rasoi, Draupadi ki rasoi, where anybody who comes to my house will always be fed. And the same idea is found even in the Bible, where you will say that if you go to the tent of Sarah or the tent of Mary, you will always get warm bread to eat. And there'll always be water to drink. Wherever they'll walk, there'll be water flowing with them. The bread will always be ready to eat. So the idea of filling the stomach, of serving food, of using business not as a battle zone, but as a kitchen. So I don't think a Trump or a Xi looks at their role as a kitchen where everybody is welcome and where we are feeding each other. This idea of I feed you, you feed me does not exist in the world today. It is about how much can I grab for my people, because I have to take care, and we're like tribal warlords. And really, we don't look like, we talk of civilization, but we behave like barbarians.
Absolutely. And, let's get to India. We often hear about the idea of making India a Vishwaguru. Do you think our ancient wisdom and modern innovations are finding the right balance with each other, especially when you look at the Indian context?
I think Indians are too busy to, Ustad Giri jada hai, Ustad kam hai. So, you want to be the Ustad, Ustad Giri, where you show off and
Dadagiri type.
You behave. I always tell children want to be teachers, not because they want to teach students, but because they think teachers are the most powerful people in the room.
Okay.
And so teacher is seen as a position of power, not as a source of knowledge. So I think we have to stop scrolling and start searching and focus on curiosity and knowledge.
Absolutely. We are running short of time, but before we end this amazing conversation, I want you to give a message. There are quite a few businessmen, quite a few entrepreneurs here, and all our impact makers. So I would like you to give a message to them and, of course, to the world who's watching you. What would you like to tell them, taking into account about hunger, about taking and not giving?
So I think rather than grabbing success and penetrating markets, we should think about what am I giving society and what I get in return. So giving and receiving. To give is naivedya and to receive is prasad. So unless you give naivedya, you will never get prasad.
That's a beautiful line. Unless you give, you're never going to get. So remember, it's a two-way reaction, and if you do that, I think, as you say, the doing goodness comes back to you. Thank you so much. It's been such a wonderful pleasure talking to you, and to be very honest, I've learned so much. It was truly amazing. Thank you so much for joining us, enlightening us, and what a beautiful conversation I've had with you today. Thank you so much, Devdutt.
And I would like to call up on stage Mr. Dhruvo Mukherjee, Director, ABP Network, to honor Mr. Pattanaik. Big round of applause for this amazing session. Big round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And now is the time to honor the real tigers of Bengal, the Impact Makers. I would like to call up on stage Mr. Shumon Banerjee, Chief Human Resource Officer, ABP. Shumon dar jonno jore hattali. Banerjee, Nilanjana Banerjee, Shumon Banerjee, it's Banerjee Square. So now, for the first Impact Maker, ABP Live Impact Makers Conclave 2025 East Edition, I would like to call up on stage for excellence in jewelry craftsmanship, Mr. Taposh Roy, Keshav Jewelry House. Taposh da, please chole ashun, jore hattali. Yeah. Taposh, thank you so much. Shubhanda ke bolbo arektu thakte amader sathe on stage. Kindly be on stage, Shubhanda. Well, now for the next Impact Maker, for excellence in solar solutions, Shubhoshri Ghosh, Ivana Electricals. She's looking beautiful in a sari, Puro Bongo Nari. I would like to call up on stage Mr. Jahangir Alam, Bonobithi Hotel and Resort. Thank you so very much, Mr. Alam. And for the next Impact Maker, innovating the bakery experience, I would like to call up on stage Mr. Otonu Kumar Dash, Devdutt Bakery, a big round of applause. Bakery, money, cake, biscuits, which I at least love to eat, and all gone. Clap has to be there, you know. These are all honors for our own Bengal and the Impact Makers. Now I would like to call up on stage Mrs. Nobunita Banerjee, Vice President Finance, ABP. So yes, our first Impact Maker in this category, leadership in curated travel solutions. And I love them. I love the experience that they give us. Go everywhere, Mr. Shambhuddha Ghosh. Big round of applause for them, for Papanda and Go Everywhere. And now, the next Impact Maker, excellence in electronics retail. I would like to call up on stage Manoj Khosla and Manish Khosla, Khosla Electronics Private Limited. Aap to shehar ka jaan ho. That's amazing. A big round of applause for Khosla Electronics Private Limited. It can be an excellent photo opportunity. Yes, all four of them up on stage. Thank you so very much, ma'am. You have to stay some more time. And now, the next Impact Maker, excellence in CBSE education. I would like to call up on stage Mr. Debraj De and trustees of GT Goenka Dakshineshwar, GT Goenka Public School, Dakshineshwar. Excellence in CBSE education. And now for the next impact maker, for culinary leadership in hospitality, Devdutt Chaudhary Chowman Hospitality Private Limited. Please, Devdutt, come up on stage. What a legacy, and he has made it. Please put your hands together to welcome the undisputed face of Bengali cinema for over 4 illustrious decades, the one and only Prosenjit Chatterjee. With a career spanning more than 350 films, he has redefined Indian cinema by effortlessly balancing box office blockbusters with path-breaking, critically acclaimed performances. From classics like Chokhir Bali and Autograph to memorable roles in Jatishwar and Gumnami, his versatility has made him a legend in his own right. Honored with the National Film Award Special Jury Award, multiple Filmfare Awards East, and numerous Bengal Film Journalist Association awards, he stands as a true icon of cinematic excellence beyond awards. He has been the torch-bearer of Bengali cinema on national and international platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome on stage the legendary আমাদের সবার প্রিয়, আমি এটা না বলে পারছি না, বুম্বাদা। Archie Audithro, working in this radio industry for more than 6 years, he has written that he's called 45 Revolver, but he's a chatterbox. And he's so straight on your face that I'm really scared to interact with him most of the time. He is such a young guy with so much of hopes, dreams and aspirations. And I love you so much, Audithro. Please come up on stage to moderate the session where we'll talk about from silver screen to streaming, the transformation of storytelling in Indian cinema.
Thank you so much, Nilanjana, for this beautiful introduction. Love you too. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the one and only Prosenjit Chatterjee. Ajke je topic niye we are talking about, from silver screen to streaming.
Should I be a little scared?
No, you should not.
Okay, you sure?
একদম আমি ভূত বা ভয় এগুলো দেখাতে ভালোবাসি, but not with you. আমি নিজেই ভয় ভয় আছি।
No, please.
So the transformation of storytelling in Indian cinema. So we are at ABP Live Impact Makers Conclave 2025, the East edition. So if I ask you, impact of cinema, the storytelling in people's life, তোমার মতে কি?
Well, it's a very good question, and I think we are thankful and grateful that we got an opportunity to talk to you because I think it's a generation which needs to be catered, and today we are talking in ABP Live Impact Makers Conclave 2025 East edition. Yeah, if you talk about this story, honestly speaking, amar jeta barbar mone hoy, yes, there is always been Indian cinema dominated with the commercial cinema, which is true. And it has to be, because the commercial cinema has to work. But if you see last 10, 15 years, what I feel is that stardom will be there, was always been there. But at the same time, I think that things are changing a lot.
Right.
And as we are sitting in Kolkata, I must say that the strength of Bengal is literature.
Absolutely.
And the kind of literature we do have, the kind of writers we do have, even young writers, they're writing fantastic subjects. And in cinema also, I personally think that there are a lot of cinema which is dominated with the storytelling. So what I feel that now there is a time coming where when you talk about the main lead of the cinema, it's going to be the story.
Yes.
Your content
Yes.
and your script.
Yes.
So if that is good and it is something which can cater to all kind of an audience, because we need to understand this young generation, they are getting exposed to international films like Iranian films, Spanish films,
Right. Absolutely.
the content. So today's generation, they would love to watch something which is absolutely content based, where the story is very strong. Of course, there will be dhamaka, there will be mainstream cinema, and that has to be there. But content is playing a very, very important role, I believe. They are really creating impact.
Impact. Absolutely. তোমার impact বড় পর্দায় I guess everybody in the room আমার কাউকে explain করতে হবে না বড় পর্দাটা খুব চেনা একটা মাধ্যম but OTT platform lately যদি বলি Jubilee is a big work OTT প্ল্যাটফর্মে তো OTT তোমাকে অভিনেতা হিসেবে as an actor what it has given you which বড় পর্দা the silver screen could not.
No, I think, yeah, Jubilee was my debut in OTT.
Yes.
It's a new technology. Our Amazon, it's a blessing that, you see, I have started my career when I used to do a film in black and white. And prochur black and white chobe ami korechi, and I'm blessed that from that black and white to I had seen the technology change, then this color film came, then we did CinemaScope, I was part of this.
Yes.
In the autograph.
Yes,
In fact, আমরা যখন autograph করছিলাম, because it was the first Bengali film digitally shot. আমার মনে আছে industry লোকরা বলছিল we were shooting for some television serial maybe. But that technology has changed. I think as a medium, OTT is a great medium, and for an actor like us, we should explore that. And also you get a chance to tell a story which you really want to. OTT is giving you that chance to the creator. At the same time, you also get a chance to work with a lot of new actors, new generation.
Actors.
They might not be big names, but they are doing so much of good work. Not only in Bangla, of course in Bangla we do have, at the same time in Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Malayali, Marathi. So I think I really wanted to, because I personally always felt that if you don't work with the new generation, they give me challenges. The way they are handling their career, their work. I think there are a lot of things to learn from these youngsters. And the people like us who have been in mainstream cinema, you know, after a certain time, we think that this is something the audience will, you know, accept. I purposely wanted to break that. That I will not do something which is, I know this is going to work, but let me do something which let people say that whether it is working or not. So for that, Jubilee was a very important work for me, where I at least have been noted nationally or internationally in that.
Can we have a big round of applause for this?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. So commercial film, serious art films, তুমি সবকটাতেই you have ventured out. তোমার early hits এর ব্যাপারে যদি বলি, সেইগুলো কিভাবে prepare করেছিল for movies like চোখের বালি বা দোসর?
হ্যাঁ, চোখের বালি, of course, I mean, আমি একটা সময় very clear ছিলাম যে mainstream cinema, of course, I have done more than 300 mainstream cinema. More than that, I believe.
এটাতে একটা জোরে হাততালি প্লিজ।
So
louder.
Thank you so much. So I think when I did Chokher Bali, it's not that I have planned. So let me share a small story.
Please.
That when I was absolutely mainstream actor, 3 shift e kaj korchi, and my films are like not days, it used to run for 25 weeks, 50 weeks, 75 weeks. So, এই সময় দাঁড়িয়ে suddenly I did a film called 19 April.
Right.
And that too also a very brave small character, which was obviously directed by our late Rituparna Ghosh, my friend. And I just did with a relationship. Look, okay, let me do it.
Right.
It was a 3 days shoot. Suddenly I came to know after the release of the film, everybody, every journalist is writing, this is a new Prosenjit.
Right.
Then I thought that there should, I mean, I'm sure that there is another Prosenjit inside me. So nowadays I normally say that Rituparna Ghosh had given a birth to that Prosenjit, and my young brother come directors who are working right now, they are nurturing me. Because I never knew that I have another Prosenjit inside me. And suddenly that 19 April after that, of course my Chokher Bali, I had done Doshor, I did Khala, I did Shop Charitra Kalponik. Of course I was blessed to be part of Gautam Das film,
Right.
Buddhadev Das Gupta's film, you know.
Right.
So that was a huge journey. But when I used to do Shoshur-Bari Zindabad, I never thought that my film is going to be screened in Toronto International Film Festival with a red carpet. So I think
Jode.
for me, both are equally important.
Yes.
Let me be very honest. I will quote one word from again, my friend Ritu. He used to come and sit with Shapon Shah, who was a mainstream big director.
Right.
And he used to say, Shapon da, তোমরা ছবিগুলো সুপার হিট দিচ্ছ, প্রডিউসাররা প্রচুর টাকা রোজগার করছে, and then they suddenly come and tell me to do a film because তোমরা overflow দিচ্ছ commercial film. So commercial film is very, very important for our industry. At the same time, the kind of cinema also internationally claimed, because we are sitting in the city where we have Ray, Ghotok and Sen,
Right.
which is, I think, Indian cinema represent these three gentlemen anywhere in the world when we talk about cinema.
Kya baat. We were talking about Bangla Sahitya, Bengali literature, of course. So Bengali literature adapt করা হচ্ছে OTT মাধ্যমে। এরকম কোনো বই বা এরকম কোনো গল্প you would love to see adapted এখনো যেটা হয়নি?
অনেক আছে। ইনফ্যাক্ট আমি একটা তো করি, আমার আই থিঙ্ক বাঙালি যারা আছেন তারা জানবেনই নিশ্চয়ই। আই অনেস্টলি ডু কাকাবাবু এভরি 2 years 3 years, যেটা সুনীলদার লেখা।
Of course.
সো এইবারেও ক্রিসমাসে আমার 4th কাকাবাবু আসবে। আই থিঙ্ক পিপল এনজয়, স্পেশালি কিডস, দে এনজয়, দে ওয়েট ফর
শুধু
কাকাবাবু।
কিন্তু নয়, সবাই।
সবাই ইনফ্যাক্ট
From all ages,
সুনীলদার।
এটা আমি সার্টিফাই করতে পারি।
And I'm blessed after a long time, আমার একটি ছবি রিলিজ করছে এই পুজোয়। সেটা বঙ্কিমচন্দ্র চট্টোপাধ্যায়ের দেবী চৌধুরানী পুজোয় রিলিজ করছে। ইটস ওয়ান অফ দ্য বিগেস্ট ফিল্ম ইন বাংলা, আই উইল সে। কারণ বঙ্কিমবাবু যে কোনো লেখাই ওয়াজ লাইক অলওয়েজ এ বিগ আনন্দমঠ, দেবী চৌধুরানী, যাই উনি লিখেছেন। সো আই থিঙ্ক দিস ইজ হোয়াট উই আর ট্রাইং নাও। অ্যান্ড আই এম ব্লেসড, আমি রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুরের গল্পে চোখের বালি করেছি, নৌকাডুবি করেছি। বাট আমার পার্সোনালি মনে হয় আমাদের উপন্যাস নিয়ে কাজ করা আরও বেশি যায়, অনেক বেশি যায়। কারণ কোনো একটা পার্টিকুলার উপন্যাস বলা খুব কঠিন, কারণ দ্য ওয়ে উই হ্যাভ দিস ইউনো our own, I will say this is our own strength, the kind of stories we have, or we can say the novels we have,
Absolutely.
এটা না, like truly we can make those internationally. So হ্যাঁ, আমার একটা দুঃখ রয়ে গেছে, সেটা এখনো আমি কেটার করতে পারিনি। when I meet বাবুদা, মতলব সন্দীপ রায়, I missed working with the greatest director in this world, I will say. But if I can be part of any of his writing in a character where he wrote something and I can act, that is going to be my blessing. And I will complete.
এরকম কোন চরিত্রের কথা তুমি কোনটা চুজ করবে?
ফেলুদা I will not try, কারণ ফেলুদা আমাকে মানায় না।
আচ্ছা।
ফেলুদা বললেই আমার কাছে সৌমিত্র চ্যাটার্জি, and then it's বেনুদা,
Yes.
of course. বাট আমি বলছি যে কোনো মানে ওনার জন্য ছোট ছোট গল্পেরও যে কোনো একটা চরিত্র আমি ভালো পাই যেটা আমার সঙ্গে ফিট ইন করবে, আই উইল ডু ইট অ্যাট এনি কস্ট। ওই লোকটার একটা ক্যারেক্টার তৈরি করা ক্যারেক্টার যদি আমি করতে পারি, আই থিঙ্ক আই উইল বি, মানে হয় না একটা কমপ্লিট মনে হবে নিজেকে।
কমপ্লিট সার্কেল অফ লাইফ, যেটা আমার আজকে খানিকটা হলো, যেটা বলে শুরু করেছিলাম। আই ক্যান সি দ্য ক্লক টিকিং, হাতে সময় খুব কম। You were talking about taking up challenges. You were talking about self-introspection. নিজে ভেবেছো যে কিভাবে আরো চ্যালেঞ্জেস নেওয়া যেতে পারে। এরকম কোনো তোমার ক্যারিয়ারের মোড় যেখানে ইউ টুক আ রিস্কি স্টেপ, সেটা তখন মনে হয়েছিল যে বোধহয় if it does not work out, it's going to be costly, but later on it paid off. এরকম কোনো মুহূর্ত?
There are lots, I think. But I must talk about one film, which is Gautam Ghosh, Moner Manush. I don't know how many people have seen it, where I played Lalun Fakir. And that too also around 15 years back. First of all, Moner Manush, Lalun Fakir, when Gautam Da came and told me, I was really shocked because from any point of time, I mean, I don't look like a Lalun Fakir. Even I'm a totally person who have not been, like that route. And it talks about 17th, 18th century story. Right. So I was little, Gautam Da, Gautam Da, amake Lalun manabe na, mane how will I do it? But only Gautam Das that believe on my, I don't know, amake shudhu bolechilo tomar chok dutoke ami ব্যবহার করব. He wanted to use my eyes. That platonic, that, a man. So I really worked very hard. But the challenge was, why I'm saying this, that I had to play a character from 30, 35 to 105.
Right.
Lalonner je chobita আঁকা আছে, that was around, he was in around 102 or 105. And I had to shave my hairline from here to here.
Right.
And I did it. It was not makeup. So on that, and there was pox, which also was there on my face. তো আমাকে অনেকেই বলেছিল যে এরপরে না তোমাকে কেউ হিরো নেবে না। So I told why? Because তোমাকে এরকম একটা মানে 105 with pox and that kind of a thing, with hairline from here to here, how will people see you as a hero or romantic hero? But God was always great. After that, people had seen my Prakton.
Kya baat, jode haath tali once again.
So that was a big challenge for me, Moner Manush, of course.
We can see the time is up. আমি শেষ করব এই সেশনটা, তোমার একটা প্রণাম করতে পারি? Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That is Prosenjit Chatterjee for you. It was a lovely session. খুব ভালো লাগলো Bumbada for giving us time, and that's about it. Over to Nilanjana.
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ অরিত্র। বুম্বাদা আর একটু থাকার জন্য অনুরোধ করব, ধ্রুবদাকে ডেকে নেব মঞ্চে টু অনার আর ওয়ান অ্যান্ড অনলি বুম্বাদা। Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you. We are honored. Well, there's a little tweak and little change of plan. So now I would love to call up on stage my favorite Koel Mallick for the next session. Koel Mallick, Koeler সম্বন্ধে কয়েকটা line. Please welcome the reigning queen of Bengali cinema, the radiant and immensely talented Koel Mallick, born into a family of cinematic legacy as the daughter of legendary actor Prosenjit Mallick. Koel carved her own path with her debut film, Nater Guru, which instantly made her household name. Over the years, she has delivered unforgettable performances in films like Shubho Drishti, Paglu, Bolo Na Tumi Amar, and Orundhuti. Koel, please come up on stage, and to moderate the session, I would love to call up on stage RJ Smriti. A big round of applause for them. Smriti hosts box office, and she is the Bollywood and Tollywood queen. So well, a very few lines about Smriti. You are amazing, you are so talented, and you are the rock star. Well, the session that they are hosting, it's how cinema connects with and transforms audiences, identities and aspirations. So a big round of applause for Koel Mallick.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. First of all, a very warm welcome at the ABP Live Impact Makers Conclave. And I have this wonderful opportunity of sitting with the one and only Koel Mallick. But before that, one of your handles says, "You're Koel." But this superstar in our lives is our very own Koel. And I would like to further add Queen Koel, as the fan calls. A big round of applause for the one and only Koel Mallick. So, Koel, I have lots of questions. I wish I could, go ahead and ask some personal questions also. But to begin with,
yes.
how's
Very
your
good
health?
evening to everybody.
How do you afford to look so pretty all the time?
Oh, please don't embarrass me. Nothing like that. I just think that I have a beautiful family life with raising two lovely kids. I think that itself gives me so much of joy that every day, every morning I wake up just to see their faces. Yeah, so life has become even more beautiful after being a mother.
Wonderful. Koel, I remember meeting you for the very first time in 2014 for Arundhati. That was the first memory of me with you. From then till now, you've just not changed. You're such a wonderful, wonderful person, as always. So I've got some questions with me before they tell me that, oh, time's ticking already. Let's cover them. From Hemlock Society to some fun entertainers like Paglu, you've done it all. How do you balance these together?
I think, see, it's been a magical journey of more than 2 decades now. Because when I'd started, I was in my college, I was doing my psychology honors, and I was happily and gleefully doing so, without an iota of thought that I'll be getting into an industry like this, which is so beautiful. Having played so many characters is beautiful, like the way you just mentioned about Paglu, Arundhati, Hemlock Society, and all of that. A range of characters that I could play. It is all thanks to my directors and my producers who've had faith in me. So getting into roles have been fun. It is fantastic because, every time when you play a role of a queen or like in Hemlock was a very depressed girl who was suicidal, which is absolutely opposite to what I was playing at that point of time. It is fun because, when you're getting into a personality, when you're getting into a character, you get up in the morning, and when you start preparing yourself for that one particular character, you start living that character. You start breathing life into that character. So for me, I think I try to remain 100% honest to the character and honest to my audience, because they are the ones who've had faith in me, who have been blessing me for so many years. So which is the reason I think my commitment goes 100% to that.
No wonder you're Queen Koel for them. So as you grow in life, as an actor, mother, a woman, how do you balance your personal growth with audience's fixed image of Koel Mallick?
Not exactly a fixed image. Even if it is so, I would like to thank the audience, because that has also unknowingly helped me to anchor myself to a particular belief or particular values, that my audience loves me because I do such things, and because finally at the end of the day, I want the love of my audience. I'll do everything that my audience would love to see me in. So that also helps me to get anchored to those beautiful things.
মানে কোনোদিন এমন শুনেছো যে কোয়েল দি বদলে গেছো বা কোয়েল দি you are same the way you were?
See, change is inevitable. You have to change. And it is fun to see, actually, from the time that I'd started, at that point of time, there were quite a few contents which were not really taken well by the audience. But now, of late, maybe after 2020, of more of OTT and stuff like that, where people have got hold of a lot of world cinema, I think the audience has also started liking very out of the box kind of contents and different sort of characters that they are open like they are just embracing them with open arms. So I think that has also helped me to kind of take up those kind of challenging characters that I at one point of time would have loved to, but I could not, just with the fear that if at all the audience would not like. But now, because they have started liking, it's even better for me that I'm kind of going through that kind of range of different sort of characters which are coming my way.
Right, fantastic. You saying liking, I'm sure the audience, they can't move their eyes from you. They love you.
Thank
We
you
love
very much
you.
for your generous and kind words. Please, thank you so much.
Mean every word, Koel.
Thank you.
So, you've received awards like BFJ, Filmfare Bangla, and Mahanayak Shamman in 2023. Which award felt the most special to you and why?
Every award has been, I think it's about acknowledging my contribution to films. So I can't really pick one out of everything because all of them have been very, very close to my heart. And above everything, it is the love of the audience and the blessings which have kept me going. So I think that is the biggest award that any actor could ask for.
They love you. Blessings always there with you. So as a journalist in MLA Patakesto, you showed importance of truth and accountability. Did this role affect your personality by any chance?
See, I like to have this attachment-detachment theory when it comes to getting into roles or characters, because I don't like to bring back the baggage of a particular role to my house. If that would be, because in a way that would be affecting me emotionally. There are a couple of roles which have affected me emotionally, like sometimes there was a film that I did, Rokto Rohosho, where I was playing a character of a mother who has been very badly cheated with the son. So, that character was actually taking me a lot into, what do I say? It was just getting inside me, and unknowingly I was getting into the character so much that was draining me out emotionally. So I think for me, I've always tried keeping a balance with the characters so that I know that when I'm in front of the camera, from action to cut, I will be playing that character with absolute honesty. But when it comes to going back home, I can't be taking it back with me. I have to breathe as Koel, the girl, who is just a girl, like any other simple, ordinary girl. She is back home as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, and not an actor anymore. So I like to keep that balance intact.
Right. You just mentioned this character drained you out. On that note, it's a personal question. Like, how do you balance the emotions of life? Whenever it's draining you out, you're stuck, your mind's not working. What does Koel do?
I think there's something, I'm a very spiritual person. I think that is one thing which has helped me to anchor myself with my thoughts of peace, because above everything, that is one thing that I kind of hold very close to my heart, is the peace. Many people say it's about the happiness. I think happiness, sadness, sorrow, grief, everything is very temporary. But when it comes to peace, it is something which is there within you and which is going to help you, keep you afloat with anything which can happen in life. I still remember when in 2020, when COVID struck us and there was so many bad news around, the same time I became a mother, and it was sudden shock that we all were affected with COVID and we all had it together. And me and my son were in one room, and that at that point of time, I think I was just listening to all kirtans, all bhajans, all meditations. I was just kind of, I think from that time onwards, I feel, as it is, I've been a spiritual person, and from that time onwards, I've become even more. Because, so I think, coming back to the question that you asked me, I think that is the thing which has helped me, keep a nice peace with me and myself, is that things will happen in life, but you just smile through it all, because this is just a life lesson. You learn from the lessons, and then you move ahead with a smile, with blessings.
You become stronger.
Yes, you become stronger, definitely.
Balo theko ma. So Bengali cinema has gone through remakes, as we were discussing a while back, that how the preferences of the audiences have changed, and new stories are entering the market. What kind of scripts do you want to see in future? Would you keep the audience perspective?
I don't know the exact translation of a Bengali word hangla. I'm very hangla when it comes to very good scripts and very good characters, because there's so many stories to be told to my audience. There are so many lovely characters that I would love to portray in films. So there is no one specific character. Maybe, you know, if you talk about a Meghetha Katara, Shupriya Devi, or a Shoptapodi, Suchitra Sen's character, or, you know, a Meryl Streep's character, you just any film of Meryl Streep maybe. So I think, you know, it is very difficult for me to kind of just pick and choose one. I would love to do a lot many characters. I've done quite a few characters, but there's a huge range of personalities that we see in the world. So there's so many characters for me to play. I would love to have nice, challenging characters to play, and, you know, it would be fantastic if that happens.
Right, the husband producer must note this. So Indian films often show ambition as moving to a big city or having a flashy job. How can cinema better show small town or simple aspirations, Koel?
Once again, please.
So Indian films often show ambition as moving to a big city or having a flashy life. How can cinema better show small town growth? You know, or having simple aspirations. Maybe I don't want to go to a big city or to Delhi, to a Bombay. I would rather be here in Kolkata, maybe in Madhyam Gram, and earn my life. So what do you think? Yes, yes.
Yeah, that is beautiful. Actually, in Bombay, I think there are quite a few films which have started happening that way, connected to small towns. I remember watching one beautiful film, Lapata Ladies, which has been something like that itself. In Bengal also, there are quite a few films which are being made, not very urban, you know, more on the small town stories and families and everything. Yeah, that definitely is beautiful when it comes to little joys in life. Those simple being, those simple innocent lives that we have seen in Pothir Pachali maybe. I think that has been the biggest example which has taken Bengali cinema to world cinema, which is Pothir Pachali. I think that rounds up the question that you're asking me. Definitely, it would be a great thing having those kind of films made.
Absolutely. So in Mitin Mashi, you were an action hero fighting poachers. And I remember interviewing you in the studio. From now to then, did boys and girls react differently to seeing a woman-led an action film, leading an action film?
It was actually beautiful. You know, the first time when we did Mitin Mashi, a story very beautifully written by Suchitra Bhattacharya. When I had read the story, I really did not think that a film would be ever made on Mitin Mashi and I would be playing that pivotal character. So in my interviews, I remember it was a very interesting way when the first Mitin was just about to release, and in my questions, in my interviews, there were people asking me, how do you like playing a female detective? And I was thinking, what about a female detective? I mean, detective is a detective because a detective only plays with her brain, irrespective of any kind of gender, if it's a man or a woman, would not really matter at all, because it's finally the gray matter inside the head which matters the most, and that is being a detective. So I think that was a question that was kind of surprising me to a certain extent, and I would actually answer them just the way I'm answering now. But I'm so glad that it was such a big blockbuster, and thanks to my audience, that that really didn't matter to them, because that was the first time a female who played a detective on screen. Because before that, it was Momkesh, Bakshi, then Peluda, and so many others. But that was the first female detective, and it was taken so well by the audience. So I was so happy. I was on my 9th cloud. I was flying and jumping with glee.
Wonderful. So last but not the least, wish we could ask so many questions. But female-led films are still less common, as we were discussing. What responsibility do stars have in making men also excited to watch such stories?
See, I beg to differ on that, because in my life's career, all the films that I've chosen, whether they are emotional stories or whether they are family-based stories, whether they are romantic stories, I always made it a point that my character has to be very, very important. So maybe not female-led, but that was also not male-led. So it was a family story where just like our families, every person is important. The same way, those kind of films that I have done, family films and emotional films and, maybe psychological films and those kind of romantic films, I've always played very important characters. Unknowingly, consciously, I don't know how, I like choosing the characters that I feel will be uplifting the audience, the women, especially thinking that, okay, the girl on screen is doing that, that means I can do the same. You know, so I think there's a conscious effort on my side that I've always liked choosing very strong female characters. And of late, definitely, I've also, whether it's Hemlock Society or Orundhuti or Jackpot or there's so many films that I can't really, I mean, right at this point of time, I'm already more than 50 films old. So I can't really I can't tell you in specific, but there are so many multiple films that I've done where uh, even very recently, there's one unreleased film, Sharthapur. I'm really looking forward to that film because it's a beautiful story again. That will be releasing very soon this year. So yeah, so there are few female oriented, female led, and like Nitin also. But also the other films also have been very strong characters, female characters. I've loved playing all of them, and thankfully my audience has taken it very well, which has given me the courage to do more such films and, present it to my audience.
Wow, actually with your work and with the way you are, you give courage to so many women around, to me, to us, to all of us. So sitting here at the ABP Live Impact Makers Conclave, what would you like to say? Few last words, not the least as we expect. What do you like to say?
I would just like to say that I just got to know that I'll be getting an award. So that itself is a great thing. It's a great honor. And I'm really humbled, elated, and honored to be receiving this award. Thank you very, very much, because it definitely means more responsibilities to take. Because with just an award, it is not just the acknowledgement of the contribution that I've made in films, but it's also about the responsibility of making many, many more good films. So thank you very much for having this faith in me, and I would like to dedicate this award also to my producers and my directors who've chosen me in their films. And obviously, I have to mention my audience, whose love, support, and blessings have been on me, and which is the reason that I could, have a beautiful and a very, very magical journey in cinema.
Oshanko Dhonnobad. Thank you so much, Koel, for impacting our lives. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Koel Mallick.
Smriti, that was awesome. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. And for the next set of impact makers, I would like to call up on stage Mr. Anuj Vyas, National Sales Head, Ad Sales ABP. So kindly come up on stage. And now, for the first impact maker in this category, Resort and Hotels, Excellence in Luxury Hospitality, I would like to call up on stage Mr. Obhigyan Biswas and Khushbu Roy on behalf of Obhijit Biswas, Vedam Resort. A big round of applause for them. Thank you so very much. And now, Excellence in Orthopedic Care. I would like to call up on stage Dr. Santosh Kumar Hip and Bone Foundation and Knee Foundation. Dr. Santosh Kumar Hip and Knee Foundation. So, thank you so much for coming. Sir, অনেক ধন্যবাদ। Thank you so much. And now, এতগুলো holiday, এতটা লোভ লাগছে but যেতে পারছি না. But yes, we can give the honor. Now for innovating tourism for tomorrow, I would like to call up on stage Mrs. Shashwati Ghosh, Travelixa. A big round of applause for ma'am. We are curating best of the packages and best of the holidays. A holiday to remember, of course. Thank you so much. And now for academic leadership in holistic learning, I would like to call up on stage Mr. Abhishek Kumar Yadav, Griffins International School. A big round of applause for him. Now I would like to call up on stage Mr. Shubhamoy Chakraborty, Chief Technology Officer, ABP. And this time, Excellence in Pan-Asian Cuisine, I would like to call up on stage Mr. Debraj De and Deepak De from Shanghai, Flavor of Chinatown. That makes me hungry so much. And now for redefining leisure and relaxation, I would like to call up on stage Mr. Proshanto Mavoi from Prasant Beach Resort. Thank you, namaskar, thank you. And now, for Modern Jewelry Impact Leader, I would like to call up on stage SK Ashik, Ashik Jewelers. Thank you. Last but not the least, excellence in culinary craft, taste and services. I would like to call up on stage Dr. Amit Kumar Kohli, Kohli Catering Services. A big round of applause for all these gentlemen, for all the beautiful ladies and for all the impact makers.
Thank you, Nilanjana. You were absolutely wonderful. I'm Vidhi from the ABP Live team. I would like to thank everybody for being a part of ABP Live Impact Makers East Edition. This event this evening was all about celebrating people who are moving Bengal forward, and thank you all for being a part of this. Thank you to all our honorees. And on behalf of ABP Live and our entire team, I would like to say thank you for being a part of this. Our audience, our partners who are in the hall, who are watching us online, thank you, a heartfelt thanks. And we'd like to see you again. Absolutely. No, we'd like to see them again over and over again and continue to do more impactful work together. Thank you, everyone.